We'd see more of this Caitlyn looks was just because of the changes to the towers. The bot lane tower is so weak at the moment. You can pick up a ton of these place knights in early, but this is sick pathing from Lucid. Tarzan moved down to cover the bot lane, but Lucid snuck around.
Yeah, and you can see Lucid actually knew because Tarzan just cleared out that ward, and now Moham going to be flashing forward. Everyone misses everything, but Lucid's still in position. Tarzan going to get down. The Tempest, the Q not going to connect, and it's Lucid that's caught on a trap. First blood, it's a disaster for Dplus, and it should be another one as the Lucid Singularity comes down. The double kill for the Caitlyn, and yeah, I don't need to talk about troughs anymore. I think that Light's going to be just okay.
Just again, diminishing the windows of attack that DK had.
Oh, you got Lucid coming back towards his bottom side. There's a great handshake. Crisp, I think, might have been dead if Lucid wasn't there, but he'll come over. He'll grab himself some gold and try to make up for the situation from earlier. Recall did come through from King, and he actually moved down towards that bottom side of the map, had just teleported top, but goes, buys some shoes, and heads down there to try and defend from this Caitlyn Lux.
He will need to equalize this wave immediately, though. I don't even know if he got... Yes, he got into range for it, so this should deny Light being able to get any more of these plates, which is really what he was looking for on this cross-map trade. And now that you post 5 minutes, at least Amy and Moham can get some plates in the top end, but it's the next wave that is now going to be a bit of an issue, where trying to see if you could just force Weibo off, but they kind of just called it, especially with Tarzan in the area. They were happy enough to go. And now, oh, here's the play, though.
Yeah, teleports come in. It is the counter paranoia. It's a decent ulti from aiming, but already out of there is Moham. Has to deal with it as Showmaker. He gets in. Xiaohu goes down incredibly low. Showmaker has the chains, and he connects it, and now Tarzan's just trying to get himself out of there, but I think he's going to be rendered down, and aiming collects the kill. DK back on the board, and the bounce back is looking great. An incredible threat on this champion. I think if you've been a fan of League of Legends since about 2020, you'll know this guy has been pretty synonymous with this champion, but Grub's going down, 5 of them picked up here by DK, and they might even be able to get the 6th as Kingan's rotating over. And Weibo not going to be able to get any of these. And now the 6 Grubs question. Now Lucid coming on over, looking to try and even out the Drake count. And even just one Mountain Drake could be pretty good here for these guys. As Showmaker, a decent sidestep, but I think he's still going to get caught out. And that Wombo is going to hold him in position for easily long enough. Now Lucid, can he actually get in here and take this one? And he does so. Finishes the Dragon, so they get that as a consolation prize after losing their mid laner. And there's a Cloud Soul. You love to see it. Xiaohu, that's just how it goes. Please, nice. Feel free.
Nice job from Lucid, though, to sneak away the Dragon. You can see that Chris was looking for his reset. Weibo weren't really in a position as Light was only coming back into the map. And now again, Lucid's starting to move up towards this top side. So although Weibo started off as a really nice player on bot side and being able to get a ton of these advantages, DK have actually played at the map state better around a lot of these objectives, and also then found ways to punish Weibo overextending. So I think the silent winner in this game has been Breathe. The moments where Kingan has been trying to roam around the map as Rumble to set up plays and trying to counteract Caitlyn has actually left Breathe in a side lane where he's just been able to farm up. You can see him nearly 800 gold ahead. Yeah. I don't see any deep wards from to TP2 though.
Yeah, well, the equalizer going to be a huge deal here as in goes Lucid, looks for that safeguard over, still has the flash though and the Dragon Rage as they take control of this Dragon. A teleport coming in a little bit late once again from Xiaohu as the Drake is secured by DK. Now Xiaohu trying to speed himself up, get himself in here, but DK, I think they just want to back away from this one. Don't think you want to go for a 5v5 as you've already taken the objective, and Lucid just going for some cheeky steal. I don't know about that one, feels a little greedy as the preemptive flash is gorgeous. The kick, too little, too late.
His bot side to try and get some pressure there. Kingan off to the side here though.
Yeah, Kingan coming in. There's the equalizer to start things off. Not going to get a whole lot of value, but there is the Fate's Call. Xiaohu just burns down. The flamethrower of this Rumble is working until he's dead, and it's going to be Light that takes him down. That felt like a headshot.
Yeah, I thought this was to alleviate pressure on Kingan so we could actually push out bot wave, but Kingan started to rotate up as well, so it looks like DK a little uncertain of how they want to approach the game, and now because they forced that Baron, it means that Weibo just get access to the mid lane turret and are even putting pressure on towards Showmaker on this top side as well. They might have found their window here with no TPs available for Weibo.
Yeah, final smoke, not going to clear out the wave here as Tarzan soaks the Q. That is going to be enough for DK to take down the outer turret themselves, so 2 for 2. On that front, can avoid the shockwave. He has a better time trying to out-kite Tarzan, so DK definitely have a chance to fight, but it looks like they're instead going to try and trade it for positioning on Baron and try and clear out some of the vision that's there. Even King and TPing in, maybe they just try and start this. Yeah, well, they are definitely starting it. It was on vision when they did start hitting the Baron, so Weibo going to have to rotate over. DK probably looking for a turn. You can see Showmaker, yeah, being frustrating, getting himself amongst it. Tarzan looks to come in, doesn't land the spell shield. But now DK, can you find the fight where you want it? Breathe looking for that flank angle It's an interesting use of the Counter-Strike a little bit early, but now the Paranoia does come through. The Shockwave doesn't do anything at all. Tarzan is burning down. Lucid's still on the Baron. It goes down. There's the Smite Equalizer. Is gorgeous, and it melts the Nocturne. Breathe not going to be able to get anything done. The kickback onto Light, and into the backline goes Showmaker, but Light is still alive. Somehow the Q misses as well. And DK, they have them on the wrong side of the map. The flash out from Showmaker, perfectly timed. DK, you've got it. You've taken it. It's fine. You've got a pick as well. We don't need to fight more. These health bars are so low, but Weibo, they're still trying to move out. Another flash picked up here, and now Lucid, he's out of position, and Light grabs the headshot.
6-point grub buff. You have Baron. You have control of the map. Wait, he's gone?
Yep, Showmaker in a lot of trouble here as the Paranoia does come down. Breathe is going to secure the kill, and that was just him and Crisp getting that work done. Light was there. He didn't really participate too much.
I'd like to formally apologize to LCK fans because he kind of got obliterated there. But a good read from Weibo to say, look, this is where Showmaker wants to be. They want to try and play through sides and burn all these structures. But DK still end up winning out because you've got push on bot. You got the shove in mid as well. You will answer with a tier 2 tower, but you're still at least getting that quicker take for Weibo plus the extra tower.
Barely needs to build any of these armor penetration items as Moham has to ult just to play defensively here as Tarzan still looking for it. There's the kick out. Nice little knock up there, but the Paranoia was held on to. Gets the activation as now Moham is in so much trouble. There it is, no bailout for you, my friend, as now Kingen moving up. The Equalizer placed beautifully, and Tarzan will be traded in an instant. Stunned up there, but you can see he's able to go into the stasis. The rest of DK, can you actually find a fight? Because Breathe says no! The Counter-Strike going to help lock down the kill onto the Rumble, and now Lucid is scattering, trying to get over towards these Raptors. Even clears out the camp. Very nicely done on the exit as there is Showmaker looking for the pick, and he'll find it! Crisp goes down as well. To avoid them pretty comfortably.
Keegan has a good position here, though. I was going to say, is he can move into and kind of break this fortress that Weibo have set up. Even Showmaker just trying to poke through, but needs to do so fairly quickly as okay.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Fate's Call to make sure that that final spark does not connect. Losing Singularity, not quite coming through as there's the ace in the hole. Showmaker sacrificing a third of his health bar. And now it's going to be a bit of a smite fight here between Tarzan and Lucid, though. He's just going to go for the kill, though. He takes down Showmaker. That is going to be Soul Point, but it's not really a huge deal. Is now Xiaohu looking for Kingen.
Breathe is in the base, though. He already took mid lane tower.
Yeah,
he's about to take another one.
That's an inhibitor turret, and I don't know whether Soul Point, Cloud Soul, I love Cloud Soul, but like, that's not good enough. This is an inhibitor taken by Breathe on this Jax, and DK, I don't think this is a trade-up.
Here and here, like you're in such a difficult spot because there's constant trap usage, there's Tarzan just playing in the front line, and if you ever become overly separated by the rock in the middle.
Equalizer looking for Light. You can see Lucid looking for a bit of a flank angle, but he's a little bit late in there, and there's the Paranoia. Breathe with the flank is gorgeous, but Tarzan is getting focused. The Counter-Strike on a 2 is phenomenal, and Showmaker, he's going to be able to lock down Light. Crisp is dead as well, and DK, they could be doing it. The bailout doesn't work, but maybe that does not matter, because Xiaohu's on the ground, and it's Breathe that has to be the raid boss, but against 3, it ain't going to work. Lucid is just going to hold him in place, and Breathe might be able to run them out on a bit of a merry goose chase, but there's the 600 gold going over to Lee Sin. That is the ace, and DK have done it. This could just be Baron, as the Baron will be secured for the second time here for Dplus Kia. They will move into a gold advantage. It's all tied up. Before this Baron goes down, I want everyone to know that this is entirely even. 12-12, 58.8. And even the turret's very, very close. The inhibitor being down in the mid lane will make this Baron difficult to utilize with the inherent pressure that Weibo has. This dragon being started. This is going down extraordinarily quickly. It's going to be a teleport back in from Showmaker, but that does mean that they have only 4 here as there's the red carpet down. Chris takes half of his health bar just by existing. That's going to be Xiaohu locking this one down, but down to the back line goes Breathe, and he has no friends. No one's going to be there to help him. Chris almost just explodes, and finally they deal with the Jax. No bailout though for Showmaker, so he'll fall down in trade. And that's Weibo being able to stop this soul from coming in, but somehow Crisp is just dead. It's Showmaker's just able to get on in there with his LeBlanc, and that is going to skew things in the favor of Dplus, especially with this Baron still with 15 seconds to go and all of these Void Mites careening towards this inhibitor turret.
May just give them that window to take this.
Yeah, with the fact that the trap was procced without him being in headshot range was kind of a big deal, because I think if Light hits any of those headshots, it hurts like a lot. Like really, really a lot.
Genuinely, yes, but TP in behind, it's Xiaohu.
Right. This is a crazy TP. It's a double to come through here as now Breathe with the counter-strike is able to get a 3 stun, and now Tarzan trying to get himself in. DK being so tricky though, the handshake, fantastic, 3-man shockwave, the final spark as well as Weibo. They're trying to find it, not quite doing enough damage though. It's a 1-for-1, but aiming is going to get hit. The bailout not going to work, and he is going to die. There's the shutdown going over to Light as Showmaker gets himself out and away from Breed. And they will start it off. Full information over to DK, but can they get in here in time is the question. The teleport for the flank angle to come through as Showmaker has made his way in. Lucid is going to be able to get into position. They have a control ward down. As now Lucid, can you actually stop this one? Tarzan gets out of the pit, and now the hostile takeover is chasing them. Light is fighting Breathe, and now Tarzan is looking to try and burn them down. The 3-man shockwave, it's gorgeous though from Xiao to try and turn the fight, and aiming is going to finally be able to take down Tarzan. The tank Callista is bouncing through the enemy team, and Xiaohu goes golden just for a moment before this Rend is going to cut him down. The triple kill for the front line. Callista is gorgeous from aiming, and now it looks like DK are going to push forward for the win.
Showmaker is doing so much work in these fights, getting access to Light continuously, making him uncomfortable. Breathe is trying to do everything by himself, and DK are cussing down Weibo. That should be the game end.
DK going to be able to take down this turret at least. Crisp, the last man standing, but we are late into this game. It is 42.5 minutes. And there is 20 seconds on Tarzan, who's going to be the first one up. Crisp not going to do anything to defend these Nexus turrets. And DK, after an absolute slugfest of a game one, will be the team that comes out on top. But man, I don't know what's going to happen in game number 2. I got no information about who the better team is, but that was one heck of a fun game.
That was a crazy game.
Ezreal Alistair has never really been the most powerful of early 2v2s. And so probably getting away from that seems like a good idea.
Because did spot out that Lucid was on the Dragon and trying to put some pressure down. May end up a bit of a smite fight. Showmaker's starting to roam across. He's just reset. But Xiaohu in the vicinity as well.
Man, this Dragon takes so long to kill. Mountain Drake is just very tanky. Crisp in a lot of trouble. That's going to be the steal for Tarzan, but is it going to be first blood going over to DK? No, it is not. About maybe some turret plates, but that doesn't happen as Tarzan. Oh man, Brand pretty good at killing grubs. And Xiao going to come over and assist as well. And that will be 3 going over to Weibo to start this one off. So already it feels like their grip on the map is better than what we saw in game number 1, despite the fact that they're not starting off with a 2-0 Caitlyn. Playing out the game plan quite nicely. This will be 6 grubs if they're able to take it. DK know that this is happening. Ticking up to 4, so Void Might's now available. It's going to be dangerous though, as we can see. There's 5. DK still looking for a potential fight here as the turn available. Crisp has the ultimate, and there is the flash forward. They lock down Lucid. He's going to have to flash away. As now Moham finds himself all alone, gets the knock up here. Hasn't died just yet, misses the hook, but gets in range onto Crisp. Between Worlds from Showmaker is doing so much work. He takes down first blood, but Kingin is also going to fall alongside his support. And now Lucid is in no man's land. Light is able to pick up that kill. It's a double for his Ezreal.
Gets the snipe with the Arcane ult over the back, and also then picking up a second kill. Weibo now getting a second Dragon as well.
To Weibo, they even teleport in to try and make sure that this one's going down because they want to be able to get themselves an inner off the back of this as well.
Yeah, Xiaohu had also been zoned away from that bot side turret. You could look at where Lucid and Moham were. They were fully attacking that bottom half, so gold injection for Weibo.
Yeah, this is huge. Moham and Lucid are making their way in though. Tarzan already softened up just a little bit. The hook just barely going to work out as Between Worlds coming down from Showmaker does get the flash out, as now this huge knockup from Crisp is massive, and down goes the Nocturne and the Nautilus. Showmaker not along for the world as well as Xiao, who knocks him up and cuts him down. Aiming tries to get in there, gets one of them back, could be another. The flash out of the way of the headbutt is gorgeous. They still get the turret, they still get the kills, but aiming is now fed.
From so much of this, but also Crisp surprising DK over the wall, setting up for Breathe in that brilliant arrow. But every time we get these fights, it feels like Weibo get a chance to sneak away another objective.
Rookies, of course, Lucid and Moham. Moham having a little bit more experience, having played here and there in the LCK, but never at this level. These are 2 players that are relatively untested and absolutely untested when it comes to the world stage, especially for Moham, who has only recently joined this team as Paranoia does come down. There's a hook landing. That's my boy Moham, as they will be able to get the kill onto the Brand. Lucid still taking a lot of damage for it because Brand just does so much. But now Showmaker might be in an awkward position. Between Worlds coming through as he uses it to escape here. True Shot Barrage going to be landing as well. The Hyper has been stacked up. One more auto from Breathe is going to do it. And Showmaker trying to get there, but he does not manage to avoid that last one.
Showmaker's ultimate is nearly up and available, had to use it to escape, so doesn't actually have it available for this fight, and I think that's why DK just don't feel comfortable taking this scrap. Also, top wave not in their favor, so Weibo get 3 dragons with little contest from DK.
Absolutely nothing they could do about it. And Soul Point, just such a big deal. We talk about it all the time. Didn't even need to put down the Rift Herald, which is now just thrown in here as there's the Fate sealed, and the catch is beautiful. Lucid nowhere to go. That's going to be the lockdown. Between Worlds comes in, Light trying to get himself out. It's a fair bit of damage, but they're not able to finish off any of these kills. Is now Kingin trying to run his way out. Decent mitigation of some of it, but that X-Tech ultimatum is one that they're happy to take any day of the week. They'll take down the Camille, and DK are floundering now.
Weibo are just catching DK as they try to set up these plays. There was a great flank coming through from King and started to move in at the back of Dragon Pit, but Lucid gets caught. He goes for the all-in anyway, and there's just too many health bars and gold on the members of Weibo to really distract them.
Feels like clutching at straws here just a little bit. DK, they were answering a lot of aggression in game number 1. This feels like they're throwing themselves at the problem and not quite figuring it out. Weibo taking a bit of damage off to the side here though. Crisp down relatively low. And yeah, Kingin actually completed the recall. So this could be actually a flank opportunity perhaps, but there is vision here for Weibo. They'll know what's going on. The Void Seeker's starting to hurt. Breathe on a ward, but the Nabar's good, and that is going to be the Infernal Soul picked up. Showmaker over the wall. Lucid, nothing he can do. He's just cut down where he stands. Still managed to get the light switch before he did die, but Moham has to flash his way out. Is he going to survive? The answer is yes, but on about 0 health, and now Kingin is just going to be dived after. Might survive as well. So they do hold on to their lives. So on top of the fact that they get Infernal Soul, they'll also be able to augment it with the purple buff. And now we're going to move towards a gigantic advantage as far as the money is concerned. Weibo are going to look like a freight train.
But that's the thing, this is so much more controlled from Weibo. You look at the last game, it was Mist Orianna combos with that Nocturnal. Tried to make some sort of play around Kingin is kind of gone now, especially against someone like Xiaohu. He's just way too strong. And if you ever do, the ability for Weibo to just tear through your structures is so insane.
Oh, it's ridiculous. That is going to be some bounty gold going over, so maybe a silver lining there. But you can see here, after that does fall, the Rebel Baron power play does dip for a second and now goes back up to 2k as that inner turret is taken. Aiming takes most of his health bar from one True Shot Barrage and is denied a recall, so the base is going to get broken open. Just looks like DK have no real response to what's going on here. The inhibitor going to fall down. They at least clear the mid wave. The top lane wave is also very far away. Houses around his Breathe. I just don't know whether DK can stop this siege from happening. They're going to have to go for some sort of all-in as Kingin makes his way back. The tower does fall down. Now DK with 5 are going to look to try and push this one out. The anchor not going to hit the target once again here from Moham, but fortunately for him, it doesn't hit terrain as well. Now Showmaker bouncing around, does go into stealth here as there is the Between Worlds. The ulti out from Xiao is going to come through. He gets knocked up, but there's Crisp! Oh! The headbutt pole flash comes through from Crisp, and he's knocking 3 of them up, but it's just the inhibitor that goes down. Yeah. There are a couple of teleports available for both Kingin and Showmaker, but they might have to use them pretty soon as Weibo are closing in. I think they've realized that maybe some kills are okay. As DK, double teleport is on the cards. It's only Showmaker that makes his way in first as Kingin thinking about a potential flank. And Weibo are still not really pulling the trigger. They don't really have to. They're just keeping DK in position as the Elder has just spawned and they have the inside track to get over there. Xiaohu setting up for some sort of engage angle as there's the ulti. They've caught Showmaker and he just explodes. Nothing he can do about it. Now the late teleport from Kingin 2 already dead. Xiaohu out of there. Lucid also going to be dead. This is so clean from Weibo. The X-Tech ultimatum comes in aiming, trying to do all of that cool stuff, but the wallets are so heavy and Weibo will push down. They'll destroy the Nexus and they'll take us to a game 3.
It is a clean ace and a clean showing from Weibo Gaming. They dismantled DK in this game and pushed us to game number 3.
I swear, it's almost too clean,
Yeah.
Dagda. And
I don't know who this is.
I didn't think that I'd be saying that phrase in this particular series, but it was gorgeous League of Legends here from Weibo Gaming as they do take down the Nexus in game number 2. DK, they're going to have to pick themselves back up after that one and see what they can do in the third deciding game.
Weibo, we'll have to see how they try and play this one out because it's a very interesting composition both sides.
Yeah, exactly right. That does confirm that Tarzan will be playing the Morgana in the jungle. It is where she's most often been seen, but there was a little bit of a chance that it could have been heading towards the bottom side of the map in support. Here is now, we've got a Vault Breaker being charged. Xiaohu goes into stealth, but he's still going to get hit. Able to hold on to that is pretty nice. As meanwhile, on this bottom side, that body slam was fantastic, but still gets caught up. Kingen going to keep himself alive, though, as now he flashes, but First Blood still comes through as the auto attack was in the air from Light. Plates going down, and another kill is also going to sail through as Breathe collects that one. Xiaohu's okay in the mid lane as well. It's a disaster for DK.
Six, because he lost so much of that experience, the tower, and may come back to bite him.
Yeah. There's the Vault Breaker going to connect onto the Gnar as now Kingen looking to try and move him out of position. Not quite in range to land that cask. And remember, the Black Shield is always going to be there. That is going to be Grub number 2 being picked up here by DK. Lucid collecting the experience as well, which is a very big deal. Tarzan going to be able to grab that second one, so a Grub advantage here for Weibo, but it's not a wash. That's what we've been seeing in a lot of these games, is 6 on one side, 6 on the other for games 1 and 2. This time a little bit more split. Does want to stop this as Lucid. He's moving over, Vault Breaker in hand. Can he find it? There it is. The cease and desist comes down. The ulti comes through, collects both of them. Great sidestep there, but still going to die. His soul was unable to return to his body, and Lucid, can he actually get a shot? Gives him the thumbs up. It still tanks the turret shot. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of Weibo, though, in the end.
Keeps Xiaohu topped up just long enough, but Weibo now get the kills and will get the dragon off the back of this.
Yep, the first rate going to go over to Weibo Gaming here, and I really like the pizzazz from Xiaohu. Would have looked far cooler. Well, this is when we're really not expecting it. It hasn't been a great Worlds here for Kingen, as that is a great Dark Binding, though, for Tarzan, as Moham has to crash his way down. Good flash to get him out to safety, but still, no flash now available for this next fight as reset. And now the Void Grubs should go over to Weibo here. Not enough people on the map as Lucid now moving over. Doesn't want to give this one up without a fight as now Moham gets tagged by a Mystic Shot and almost just straight up dies. That is going to be the first 2. There is 4 or 5 Grubs picked up as Chris doesn't find too much with the ultimate. The bullet time also not really collecting too much here as well. The door is now on cooldown as Breathe is going to get punched a few times. Black Shield is now on the Gnar. Moham already starting off on this Rift Herald, down to 50% health. Vision was given over to Weibo, but it goes dark once again. And now Kingen on this flank. Can he actually find it? Doesn't actually throw out the flash or the cask or anything just yet, but still gets hit by the Dark Binding. So much damage, he flashes, but it's not enough. And that is the kill picked up here from Xiaohu. Disaster strikes for DK as they're looking to try and stay on top of this Rift Herald. Between Worlds comes through. Showmaker cannot get over the wall. And the Herald is even taken here. It is absolute disaster stations for DK. That's a cheeky one picked up for aiming, but that is a consolation prize at best.
It is the silverest of linings for DK, and what is a dark, dark day. Lucid and Kingen considered going on towards Breathe, who's in mini-Gnar, but they don't pull the trigger fast enough. On the top of the map, Rift Herald is still started, so Weibo are just chasing down members of DK, and as they finally decide to turn on towards Breathe, the Black Shield comes in just in time.
This is a disaster, and Weibo, yeah, pretty happy with how this one is going. There goes the outer turret as well. In the mid lane, Showmaker looking to try and trade for the bottom outer as well, but trading up here for Weibo, absolutely. And as we have a look at our MasterCard lane economy snapshot, it is looking pretty good for our World's runners-up in 2023. Weibo just looking for a repeat of history, at least until the very end, where they would prefer a change in history. But so far, so good as far as getting back there in this game. Xiaohu on control mages seems to feel a whole lot better. They were able to win the last game as now Between Worlds comes through once more. That is going to be the Magnus Storm bullet time, and they just cut down where they're standing. DK, can they find more off the back end of this one, though, as Lucid still has the ulti available. Tarzan still with that Black Shield there, and DK not going to push for more. They pick up 2 kills, and this might give them an avenue back in.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. You overextend, and there's still windows for DK to come back. Plus, Kingen was pushing in that top side the whole time.
Breathe will finally get that free time that he was looking for. Utilize those 5 grubs and take down the outer turret on that bottom side of the map. So Now we're going to catch that wave, but there is no vision here. It looks like Tarzan should be able to just secure this for Weibo. The first dragon of the Infernal variety secured here by Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, you can see DK trying to get vision on this top side in return for that Baron area. As Light takes a couple pop shots.
Battle for the crab. You love to see it. Darkbinding going to go wide once again, and they're not going to win that battle, as Breathe is going to win his battle with this inner turret that is completely unprotected. Kingen going to turn up just a little bit too late. That is a lot of money going over to this Nah. Randuin's already completed here for Breathe as well, to be under any sort of threat when that danger is going to come in. Showmaker continuing to push here on this bottom side. They've started up the dragon as well, as Light deals with the mid wave. This could just be a 50-50. Soul point for Weibo on the cards. Could even out the dragons on DK's side, down to 50% health now, as Moham holding on to that Magnet Storm. Xiaohu looking for that angle, trying to get that R button down, but Kingen has spotted him. Knows exactly what's going on. Winter's Bite going to connect Darkbinding, not going to so far. And no one pulling the trigger just yet.
The timer on Breathe is going down though. They need to start.
Yep, down to 1,000 health. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Lucid that locks this one down. The Magnet Storm from Moham connecting on a 3, but he's a little bit too far forward and he throws his life away. He's going to get softened up quite a bit here as now Showmaker diving in. Breathe Navar in perfect position. And back over the wall goes Lucid. He cannot fight this Mega Gnar as Crisp going down pretty low, but where is the smite? Can they get into the pit? And the answer is going to be no. The Vault Breaker gets forward, but it's Tarzan that locks down the Baron, and now it is just disengage, disengage, disengage for Weibo. They're out of there. They got that purple buff, and they're looking great.
A lot of the damage already done to these tier 2 structures.
Yep. With these Void Mites coming out here as well. I mean, that is, yeah, there's no minions there, so they're not going to be able to grab that one just yet, but look at this. The army of minions moving towards this bottom lane. That will spell the inner turret going on over the entire outer section. Okay, can they find the angle here as Light? Arcane Shift pretty powerful there, as you can see. Kingen looks for the barrel. There's the Magnet Storm. Crisp comes forward, shows them the door. Light creates all of the space he needs. The Black Shield's so valuable. They take down Crisp though. They're able to just go through the front door instead, and Light is just left in the dust as 2 of his teammates are dead.
Weibo is there trying to collapse though. Breathe has that flash. Mega Gnar so close to it. Xiaohu collapses.
Yeah, between worlds, there's the crash down. Moham knows that he's dead, is now aiming, just throws the ultimate right at the Ezreal. Can he stand his ground and take down Xiaohu as well? It's the Mega Gnar says absolutely not. The sidestep's decent, but it is not enough as the solo lanes take down aiming.
Behind Weibo, the dragon will be taken. It is going to be given, but I think Lucid is essentially just going to sit here and hope that someone overextends on mid-wave and they can immediately go for the crash down with Moham, but Aiming isn't there to try and follow up, and Lucid may be spotted. It did to Light last game. Can he get it again here?
Yeah, he's channeling now. There's the Black Shield though. Light in a lot of trouble, but he just gets shielded up and he's gonna be A-okay. There goes Lucid. They threw the kitchen sink at him, but it did not work out. The Between Worlds is gorgeous. Moham's dead, and there's the ult out from Showmaker.
And it is spotted. There is no miracle for the LCK third seed. It will be Weibo who push into the base.
Yep, they're just going to cut down the inhibitor here. Kingen, can he remove the minions? That is the question. It might take some time, but I think that Weibo, that was the death nail. It's just whether the Nexus is going to explode right here or whether it's going to be after a bit of a reset, because, man, can possibly get them out of here with that explosive cast, because the Baron is all they want. They should be able to take it, but can they win the fight? That's the question. Lucid does manage to land the smite. The Magnet Storm is decent, but Xiaohu just goes golden. Breathe is gonna smack down this Rel. Xiaohu's still in it, able to bounce his way out. Kingen, can you have the mobility? The answer is no. Tagged by a Christmas tree, and it's Light that's gonna be able to take down the Gragas. And Weibo, they are back towards it. They are moving down this mid lane to finish what they started.
Weibo going through, Aiming ults to clear out the wave, has the Baron up minions, and may have delayed the game for just another 30 seconds. That could set up Lucid to come on through. There is no minion line here. They're waiting on that bot lane to push on through.
The one caster minion, can they protect it? That's the question. And Showmaker says no, he's going to be able to take that one down, but Aiming not going to be so lucky. They just chase him towards the fountain. Showmaker as well going to go down. Breathe might just be dead. And remember, these are only Void Mites. There are no minions because that caster minion, the hero, did actually fall. And so now missing a bunch of health bars. It's only Moham that is going to be here, but now the super minions are going to crash, and Weibo, I think they've got enough damage. I think they're going to be able to do it here. This is their ticket to Paris. One last Nexus turret in front. Lucid, can he do it alone? The answer is absolutely not. He takes down Tarzan, but Weibo, they take take down the Nexus and secure a spot in Paris.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup at the Swiss stage of Worlds 2024.
To steal away the full top side of G2's jungle camps. Jijun can now hover around mid. Look at the wave state, not ideal for Caps.
Blanc. Suppression into the wall. Chain now follow up. Caps is just a dead man. Clean first blood coming in from BLG. Beautifully played around the mid lane.
Jijun hovering around the bot side of the map.
Mickey. Quick Q taking his time on, just waiting in the brush there.
The swaps have come back through as well, so Elk now back on the bot side
Spotted
of the
they
map.
want Hansama. Nice knock up onto the initial engage coming from Mickey. 5 stacks on the plasma. Instantaneous shattering strike on a 2 from Mickey, but he's going to go down as well. Flash in from Elk to finish. BLG, 2 kills on the board, only 5 minutes into this
And
game.
look at the...
So starting off the objective here.
Notice as well, Elk making his way down alongside Shun and On. The first grub will go down. So perhaps some wasted time here for Elk, especially as 2 grubs secured. I think G2 can be happy with that. Knight gonna make his way over, level 6 secured as well for Caps.
G2 trying to back up, make sure that BLG can't get any exit kills. Unfortunate that they can't grab the crab, but good recognition from Yike and G2 to realize, hey, BLG are on the move, we cannot stick around. You shouldn't really have an angle to contest here, likely to just concede this Drake. BLG, as we get later into the game, again, Bin is going to be such a difficult problem to manage, essentially, as the Jax gets more items under his belt. Sometimes when you have that late game scaling hyper carry, deal with this champion. But Hansama on the MF, pretty hard to... Yike can get into the pit. BLG need all 3 if they want the 4 grub buff. G2 trying to poke, but this is such a difficult fight for them to play out. They've got Elk on the flank and they're not doing anything about it. Mickey now going in, but it's not going to connect onto anybody. The Q initially going to hit Knight, but Mickey just getting 1 pop. Now finally the fog coming in. Knight might be in trouble. They're forcing the flash out, at least initially. Ulti going over the pit, but it's a scattered fight from G2. Caps doesn't have any mana, but now Broken Blade is here. Instantly punted right back though. Not interested in taking that one. Shockwave to help secure. Grubs down at the very least. 3-3 there, but a messy fight.
He has just been permanently playing for plates. He hasn't been overdrawn into fights. Broken Blade spent a lot of time.
On. Aftershock proc. Shun coming over the wall. Hansama crucially pinned. Ulti fall up there, leaving him for dead. They know there's nothing left. BLG just make it look so effortless.
It's an easy pick once again for BLG. They're fighting over a control ward in the mid lane, but BLG are just kind of running rings around G2 in this early game.
It's just so hard for G2 to find a fight on their terms. Mickey is that source of engage. Want to get aggressive here. Counter-strike is there. Mickey now pulling the back. It's a clean combo to kick things off. Knight snapping back, but he's still in the MF ulti. Yike finding the kill, crucially, for G2.
Minutes.
He's been everywhere on the map.
Yeah, rarely do we see Skarner's this active in the early game, but Shun is constantly looking for these ganks, looking for these plays, and he'll secure his team a Rift Herald as the Dragon goes in favor of G2. About a 1.3k gold lead in favor of BLG, and crucially, it is coming from the mid laner and the AD carry of BLG.
G2 trying to get some pressure back on the bottom side of the map. You can see the lane economy snapshot. Damning indication of the early game thus far for G2. Not the most massive individual leads. We'll keep an eye on those item completions. G2 will knock down bot lane tier 1. Expect that mid will be the center of attention for BLG, given the access to the map it gives them with that Herald.
Spons is now making his way down to try and contest, but I think BLG is too late.
Knock up, quick Alistair combo. Broken Blade gonna try to double hop out of safety, but Shun already waiting, and Knight grabs the kill. BLG, this was the team people expected to see at the start of the Swiss stage, but here they are, they've finally arrived. They're playing the map beautifully.
And it's so efficient in terms of what they do when they come back out onto the map. G2 members just keep getting caught prior to objectives, randomly in side lanes. Again, it's BLG that have good setup on the map. They've pushed out top. BBU is catching the bot wave. And so while G2 are scattered, what do BLG do? Put pressure into the mid lane, the weakest point of G2, where they then can't be punished.
Down that tier 1, look how much of the enemy jungle just belongs to Knight. Anytime mid-wave is in a decent state, he can walk in so freely, so effortlessly, to just threaten. Nocturne out now going in. TP coming into the midst of G2 as well. They're finally going to spot it. Looks like they're going to try to catch out Knight, looking to punish, but on an excellent use of disruption. Shun now trying to get involved in the fight. Bid waiting over the wall. Jack, keep your eyes on that counter-strike right into 2. Quick flash out from Cap. Holding on for now. Ulti coming in from Hansama, but it's just not connecting the way that they need it to.
Without really expending anything. Look, flash available still for Elk, Knight, Shun, and Bin. G2 realize that they can't contest this Dragon. They've just committed all their ultimates. Yike and Caps had to flash out of that play. Notice Broken Blade can't afford to overextend. Mickey caught out.
Battering strike there is going to try to re-engage onto Elk. Immediate follow-up. Clean combo going in. Elk still standing though. He's still alive. The ignite on it. Broken Blade going mini and trying to follow. It's a messy fight. Hansama already taken down. Bin is here to turn it back on. Quickly going over the wall. The blast cone does not matter. BLG perfection to shut down the combo of G2.
They're able to outplay the fight once more. They thought that they had caught out Elk, but he was able to survive for so long. Broken Blade had to commit the flash to even secure the kill, and it ends up being a 1-for-3 with a Baron to boot. BLG dominating in the first game of this series.
Caps can't even knock down the tier 1 in return. This is devastating. You saw it. They got the combo together. They tried to turn around.
They're going to wait for Elk to respawn so that all 5 members secured the Baron. BLG with once again a dominant team fight. And you'll notice the patient play that comes out from PLG. They don't panic. They realize that the collapse is coming through. PLG, they were able to win the fight.
But G2 want to up the pace, want to keep things going. Beautiful up from Hansama to get things started. This time Elk didn't have the tools that he needed to survive. On taken down as well. G2 trying to delete these Baron buffs as quickly as they can. Knight TPing in off the side. Caps Hansama running. Mickey gonna fall here. Sacrificed. A decent play to stall the map.
We just move towards the bot side of the map. This will give a bit of the bounty gold back over to G2 as Broken Blade secures the top tower, but BLG have set their sights on this bottom tier 2, and I don't think G2 have the resources to stop it.
Counter strike there, beautiful CC coming through, shockwave there, Hansama getting one pop, Caps got nowhere left to go, the chain's connected, it's just a matter of time, Bin on a rampage. BLG taking down the bot lane tier 2 to follow.
I mean, BLG are just beating G2 with their wallets now. They're so strong, they have the Baron. Broken Blade's able to get the tier 2 back, but BLG don't have to stop. The wave clear is gone for G2, which means that BLG can set their sights on the bot lane tier 3.
Knock down the inhibitor, likely to follow. BLG will back away instead.
Extend the fight, and you think at that point, hey, actually getting the Baron off, being able to cross map, getting these strays, all positive plays. But then Hans and Caps overstay on bot lane. They don't respect the ability for Shun and Bin to just dive that as much as they want.
The same is true from Elk with these long-range Ws.
That was Shun's ulti there, but it doesn't matter. Elk will still get the mid-tier 2. Bin, pressure. This is exactly what you want to see from BLG.
Again, but who do they go on? It's a timer now. Yike has to go.
Pressure mounting. Now, Bin is on the Dragon, and the Baron is being started. He doesn't have TP.
But Bin can wait. Wait
and
till they commit. It's not a fast Baron. On around the corner. Oh. G2, this is a Hail Mary. Knight taking so much health away from Yike. Popping the Sterix, they can now follow up as well. On in the midst of the entire team, locking up Hansama. Vision getting blurry, but Hansama still gets caught in the suppress. He tries to flash out and he gets caught anyway. He's living for a brief moment. The barrier keeping him standing, but Elk and Knight can start to hunt now. All those cooldowns down, in goes Elk. They're trying to turn it back. The cleanse is a little bit sloppy, but he buys himself an extra moment. The ulti now to follow. Quick ulti back response. Broken Blade gonna follow up. It's a messy fight. Cap still alive for an extra moment, but Knight's on the way in. Mickey trying to do what he can to peel for his mid laner, but Bin is just now arriving, just in time to watch G2 fall. A double kill to finish it for Knight.
I mean, BLG play it the way they're supposed to, demonstrating beautifully how to use their poke. G2 is forced to ulti onto Jun and on the frontline engage. They're able to take their time, and look, the TP coming in. BLG don't want to give G2 anything.
Luckily, G2 able to get the objective down. Yike's flash will be the cost. You highlighted it, Baron picked up another excellent fight for BLG. And it's, again.
it's just that hard.
Tough. Broken Blade at least able to get a little bit of poke down on the Knight. They're slowing down the push here. Ulti coming out for Yike. Where are they gonna go? Click combo coming in onto Elk, but he manages to go invisible for a brief moment. Yike now trying to follow up. Mickey coming in over the wall, but he just gets one shot. The carries do too much damage. Broken Blade is here. Elk goes golden. The timing is good. Knock back into the wall with the wall up. He'll take one, but BLG are just gonna take the base.
Again, G2 succeed in killing Elk, but that is just not enough. On and Bin dive onto the backline. They decimate G2. And in this first game, BLG have dominated from start to finish.
BLG reminding us why they are the first seed from the LPL. A nearly effortless game one. Beautiful fights from start to finish.
That was a style that they found a lot of success with in the past, and they're looking to replicate here in this game. On the way.
Level 6 for Caps, no level 6 for BLG on the top side of the map. Emotes coming out.
I mean, they're still playing with confidence. which is a sight to see considering how devastating it was in game one. The gold remains even. Ezreal's actually moved over to catch the mid wave. They're going to send Sylas to catch the top, and then Broken Blade is going to head towards bot. Crucially, Bin still has TP available, and he has a healthy CS lead over Broken Blade, and he's going to be able to get 2 plates off the back of this. So while all of those shenanigans were happening on the top side, Bin teasing the dragon, but with the bot lane now here, he should be able to secure it. Mickey has to be careful.
Handshake there. Pull back. Knockup is going to be there as well. Clean interrupt coming in from the side of BLG. An excellent pick. Mickey overconfident to step up. Thought they'd all be focused on the Drake.
Level 4 there for Mickey. He's going to be 2 levels down behind On. That ultimate, once again, going to be very crucial as we get closer to the next scrub spawn. It just boils down to that. G2 cannot get back out onto the map quickly enough to really contest. So they're just going to have to concede. If they could steal 1, that would still be a big win for them. But it looks like that with the reset coming through from Broken Blade as well, that they're not going to be in a position to do so. Good setup from On and Elk, making it hard to actually enter the river. Broken
Mickey
Blade,
caught out. Double knockup is big. Instant follow-up. Suppression now there. Charm, but the ulti doesn't hit from Yike. Crucially onto Yelk. G2, do they still want to keep going for this one? Another knockup on On should seal the deal. Bailout now coming in. Caps off onto the side looking for the 1v1. Desperation comes in. He steals the Gnar ultimate. Hanzama finds the kill. Now the chase is coming in. Shun locked up. Broken Blade chasing. They found the angle. They found the fight. And they found the grab on top. G2 take the advantage.
An early skirmish goes the way of G2. It's set up by Mickey and Broken Blade. Doesn't connect the ultimate. Oh, because the charm comes through, slowing his lockdown.
Ulti comes in from Bin, decent damage, but as long as Sylas has W, he should live for an extra second, but no! CC layering is flawless. Yike now chasing, Bin likely to fall. Yike looking for the knockback as well. One more auto and a Q to finish, but clutch flash! The kill finished. Extra life now coming in off the kill for Broken Blade.
Guaranteed and man down. They'll send the Ezreal over to mid, and one of the biggest shifts that we're seeing in this game is, number one, Caps having a little bit more agency in the side lane on the Sylas. In that previous skirmish, we didn't talk about it, but in a 2v1, he was able to get that kill into Elk because he stole the Gnar ultimate away and knocked him into the wall, guaranteeing that kill. But this time, Mickey's just roaming around the map a lot more. He's making his way towards top.
Broken Blade, where's the wind wall gonna go? Knockup is there, manages to block a little bit of the damage, doesn't really have a clear path out to safety. Ult through, trying to get a bit more damage down to the shot. Nice dash back! Oh, the wind becomes lightning! Knockup is there, but they don't really have any other follow. They at least stop the play. They slow down the play on top side. The tower will still fall, but in the meantime, Hans is pushing.
A 3 versus 2 situation.
And on Alistair to make so many of these plays, he now has to stay beside his AD carry. Can't afford to roam individually. Will probably just get caught out by this G2 composition. So as G2 was set up on the objective, BLG hovering in the area. Knight no TP, but he's on his way. Cap split pushing in a side lane. Tale as old as time, but G2, can they navigate this one well? Bin with Mega Gnar coming. It doesn't look like they want to try and take this fight, but they're staying in the area, maybe hoping for an exit kill, maybe hoping for a mistake from the side of BLG, as Caps is already recalled.
He's not going to get that, though. Objective secured for BLG. Now G2 set their sights on the top side of the map, but BLG is here to respond.
Wind wall to stop Bin for pushing anything else. Stolen Gnar ultimate, knockback, clean follow from Broken Blade as well. Shun cannot peel. Yike with the follow-up 2, On coming over the wall, the hostile takeover will do a little bit of work. Shun trying to hold on for life, but the knockup is still there for a brief moment. Shun trying to escape the heal coming down. On just doesn't have enough cooldowns to save his jungler, and G2 gonna keep the pressure up.
The skirmishing is going so well for G2. Across the map, they're able to find these. While Knight will get a tower in the bot lane. Sylas, Yasuo, and Escada. 0.9k HP with just these 2 items.
All I'm saying is bring back cut down. I'm saying bring back cut down.
Yeah, do you want to know another
Or
fun
Dominic's
fact?
passive, put it back on there.
This W scales with his missing health.
I mean, it could be a situation.
I don't know if they want to finish this objective.
I think you can keep him here. I don't know if Caps has dive threat, though. Is it a flip? Don't want to see the flip.
Gonna run out soon. Here gets the TP. Have they got what they want?
Managing to get 2! Over the wall! Caught unawares! Overconfident playing for the 50-50, but now G2 need to get the fall. They cannot let Shun into that pit. Caps stealing away the Nico ultimate. Mini Gnar there. It should belong to G2. The follow-up for Broken Blade. Ulti there! The combo in game 2 to solidify their lead to take down BLG, but Bin's not done yet. Shun's not done yet. Finally, he will fall. Hanzama popping off in the fight to finish the job. A double for the Ezreal.
Insane ulti from Yike. Phenomenal. A play that no one was expected From over the wall, he's able to catch the bottom lane of BLG. That's going to be a Baron. And BLG find themselves with their backs against the wall here in game 2.
This entire tournament, G2 have had moments in games where it's looked close, but finally.
They're looking to equalize this series, bring us to 1-1. But this was the G2 that Europe was waiting for.
Deal with BrokenBlade, will he get caught on side? Holding onto that Q3 as long as possible, gets the double knockup crucially. Elk now trying to follow, wind wall is there. G2 locking down towers on the bottom side of the map. Pick will be there in time though for BLG. Can they turn back to defend? Only 1 minion remaining. G2 likely to need to back off here. Potentially a bit desperate. Yike fishing. Won't get anything yet. Recalls from Elk as G2, 2 pressure points. The call for a fight, the pings on the way. BLG ready. 3 members isolated.
TP flank, TP flank.
TP from behind, Bin, but it's only the Mini-Gnar. Caps trying to chase, trying to follow Bin off to the side. Yike getting pulled back by the handshake. G2 trying to retreat as cleanly as they can. Hansama safe for now, but Shun is on the way in. Wind becomes lightning connects. Knockup is there. Mickey trying to keep his AD carry standing. Shun going to fall. Bin, the mega stacking. He's on the chase. Can he get the double bounce on the hop? Sterik's there. Hansama cleanse out to safety, but BLG just continuing to step forward. Caps looks like he's chasing the 1v1, just keeping an eye on that potential TP. Gnar forced out. Skandam Duck not going to connect. Wall up there. Again, Caps staying close.
The collapse from G2 as well. Bin has to take this fight.
But Bin can't win the 1v1 against the Silas. There's too much sustain. Knock back to the wall. Caps takes his time to make sure everything is lined up. Mini-Gnar coming out though. A lot of sustained damage. Caps though. The healing coming in is simply too much. Mickey on the way just in case. Bin trying to hold on as best as he can, but Caps will not fall. And Contest don't want to give up that Ocean Soul. Bin now at the wit's end makes that 1v1 that much easier if he can find it again, but they don't even want to wait for the objective. Elk forced to go into the air. The flashback is clean, but the wind wall stops the feathers from being pulled through, but he holds on to the cooldown for a moment, but it's Yasuo! In the midst of everything, BrokenBlade. Knight now going to be in trouble. The stolen ultimate taken away. Mid laner gone. The bailout not enough. On with a hostile takeover. But it doesn't do anything crucially. G2 pushing in to end the game right here, right now. Bin responding just in time to watch the base fall. Can he make the difference on running? Knock up there. Caps gold into the BLG base. Hope ignited for the LEC as Bin falls. As it'll all come down to a single game to decide who will make it to the Swiss stage, the bracket stage, excuse me. The
It's gonna be Rise. Okay. I mean, we held our breaths there because I felt like it was appropriate. But for anyone that's been a long-time Caps follower, Rise is an old-school side lane comfort pick for him.
We'll have to see what the Taurik initial item choice is. Obviously, you kind of want access to a tier early on, but Caps caught out here with Pierre, but now they're trying to turn the play. Nice stunt fall from Mickey, and down goes Knight. BLG in trouble. Shun trying to walk away. Exhaust coming in as well. They want to kill Shun. G2 a little over-eager. The flash from Mickey. Ooh. Forcing out the flash from Shun.
Honestly, I'm shocked that BLG tried to force that. They must have assumed that Mickey had gone back to base, but Yike, like, where else is he going to go? There's no camp for him to take. Oh,
Yike caught out. Good initial burst damage coming in. On trying to find the lockup there. Yike ignited. Yike taking out. Shun running. Good response from BLG to even up the score.
To help provide safety now for the mid lane, but Yike makes his way towards top. Look at BrokenBlade.
BrokenBlade going in, taking his time on the stun.
Trying to get the rage.
First dash going to connect. Again, waiting for the flash. Knockup should come in for Yike. Stun to follow for BrokenBlade. Again, Yike on the map where he needs to be to find the kills. To go bot lane to catch the wave that was crashing. Better setup from BLG overall. Will result in them getting the first grub spawn. G2 moving down to the bottom side of the map to take the obligatory trade deal of the Drake.
It's a bit awkward though for BLG because they brought Elk up and they've kept Bin on the top side of the map, committing his TP as well, which means that this bot tower is now completely exposed. And look at the long way around Elk has to take. He's cautious of the fact that that bot jungle is completely dark, allowing BrokenBlade to extend his advantage even further. Yes, he's a little bit down in farm, but securing that play along with the kill has given him a pretty good lead.
Certainly helps. Elk now here to cover. Yike taking a bit of time. Old Tunneler not giving you the most damage here. Hans slow. So we got Hans also taking over to level 6. Bin with his ultimate online hasn't really found a good chance to use it yet.
First items come through, both sides looking for it. I think both teams spike pretty hard on one item. BrokenBlade now in danger.
BrokenBlade in trouble here. Trying to get away from the ultimate, does get caught out. Dominus is there, but the Ignite already ticking down from On. Should mean a quick kill pickup onto the Renekton. Shun gonna grab that one, maybe not ideal with BLG. Nice collapse on the side lane. Mid prio though is there for the side of G2, but again, BLG only need a single grub. They get it. They don't need to stick around. Good window of opportunity leveraged by the side of BLG. That's all they really wanted. Didn't have to risk much to get it either.
Yeah, I mean, as you rightly said, I think BLG really got everything that they wanted here. 4 grubs secured. They're going to use that advantage to help secure the tower on the bot side of the map, and it will be the first tower of the game too. All this influx of gold.
That's a huge gold injection. It just jumped up to a 2K gold lead.
Yeah, and there's no cross map available either. G2 can get some plates for themselves, but we're still 2.5 minutes away from the tower planing actually falling. Cancelled as he tries to catch the wave. So yeah, nice. Honestly, good sequence of events from BLG. A moment of hesitancy there from G2. Rather than just committing to the grubs and playing for top tower, they moved back into mid-wave, that then moved into pot river, and they just kind of wasted their tempo, allowing for BLG to both secure the bot tower and even get a grub for themselves. So well played by BLG.
Angle. Rise finding the angle. Bin now in trouble. Yike going over the wall. The Dazzle not going to connect, but the knock was there. Quick flash coming in from Caps. Bin's got nowhere to go. Side lane pick. Bin cannot get close enough to the wall. The flash to safety. G2 find one in the side lane, but BLG looking to respond in the mid. 200 or 300 gold doesn't seem like a lot, but when it's the difference of completing an item, puts you so far behind on the play, and good recognition from BLG, knowing they're stronger, knowing they have the items and the XP that they need. Force this. Of course, Caps does have a small lead in the mid lane, but Rise level 11, not big of a deal, and you can see bot lane, as you so well highlighted, Vedi, only one of those little blue graphs matters. Mickey getting lower and lower. BLG again just chipping away these health bars. On, bit of an awkward start. Mickey ignited, now trying to use the ultimate, and they're going to turn it back. He's invulnerable for 2.5 seconds. Good ulti coming in from Jun, and Elk still untouched for a moment. Realm Warp coming in as well. On, going to be in trouble. Mickey still standing, the healing coming through. BLG, just the 1-for-1 so far. Yike now in trouble. He's burned everything he's got. Knight coming in, flashing from Yike. He wants to turn it. TP coming in as well, but Knight stolen away the Zinzao ultimate. It's a double kill for Elk, and again, the Ezreal starting to take over, doing a bit more damage. The red buff there, but Broken Blade coming in, the Stride Breaker. Is it enough to flash forward? One more on it, wants to finish the job. He'll get it, but Bin there to punish. It's an even fight thus far.
A crazy skirmish the Caps wasn't even involved in.
Incredibly close fights.
I mean, it is incredibly close.
But you see in the picture-in-picture, the game pace is so quick that even in a replay, we need to show you what's happening next. And right now, that's BLG with the first objective setup. And once again, Caps in a side lane, which thus far has been a good omen for G2, but it's not the same game that it was in Game 2. It's not the massive compositional difference that allows G2 to just split the map effortlessly.
But look at the gold at the bottom of your screen. I like what BLG is doing. They're punishing the fact that Caps is in the side lane on the top side. They should be able to secure this tower. Can they catch Hans?
On. Missing the Shattering Strike. Second charge. Will not connect.
Broken Blade and Caps should be able to get this tower. And the only concern that you have for BLG is Caps is ramping up. He is nearly 2 full levels overnight. He's about 11.5 for the time being. They're going to TP to top lane. Oh, but that might have been too dangerous.
Leading the wave. Waiting for the ulti, catching out Caps, trying to burn him down into the tower. Archangel Shield is still there. He's running as fast as he can. Bin trying to finish the kill. He will be able to get it. Crucial from BLG, but now they're looking to turn on. Can he save his top laner? The answer is yes. Mickey now on the chase as well. Knight in the 1v1 at the bottom screen. It's a split screen focus. Elk over the wall is going to be clutch. Cosmic Radiance coming, but it might come a little bit too late. G2 just have to run. BLG find the better play. Hansama's there just in time.
They're going to find a kill advantage, and it's BLG that's going to get a small lead in the gold. But I say that, look at the mid lane. G2's looking to respond. They should be able to secure this.
Knight stepping up. Has to immediately back away as the mid lane tier 1 will fall.
It's still so close, Straykos. And also, whenever Bin is able to find Broken Blade, he forces him out. So the map is quickly becoming over the TP flank.
TP coming in as well. Shun going to try to find the ultimate, but he does not connect on Caps. Crucially, TP response now coming in from BLG as they try to split the fight. On, trying to turn the fight back. The equalizer is beautiful. The Cosmic Radiance. Will it come in time? The answer is yes. Mickey buying 2.5 seconds for the team to try and turn this one back. Hansama and the Caps untouched with the back line. A perfect dazzle to get things kicked off. Ulti coming in from Hansama as well, but BLG steal one back. Bin, can he burn them all? The answer is no. G2 finding the angle as Elk runs for his life. The Ezreal. Can he make the difference? He's still standing. Yike finding the 1v1 versus Shun. He should come out on top. Double blast cone makes it a little bit trickier. Will finish the job. He will get the jungler down, but Elk, can they afford to approach the last man standing on the side of BLG? How can he escape? He can't to follow the shutdown there for G2.
It's an ace. On is able to respawn in time, so it doesn't pop up, but that is 5 kills for G2.
Calling in the TPs at the very least, but G2 want to stay on the objective. They know the angle. They know Skarner has to approach them. It's not Hextech Rift. They can risk the 50-50. Tension growing,
Here's
5K
Knight.
getting lower, Yike now committing, response coming in from Ultimate as he has to stop, but the Dazzle is there! Yike taken out, they don't have a smite in the pit! Caps has to make the difference, Broken Blade now coming into the backside of the fight, they cannot afford to take the objective, but they can try to find the kills! Bin, turning, burning, Knight in the clutch, finding the sustain he needs, but Broken Blade desperate to finish the job because Caps is still alive! Suppression there, 2v2. Solo lanes versus mid jungle. Ezreal on the way. G2 can't afford to extend the fight, but Broken Blade wants a little bit more. Will it cost him the dominus? The healing coming in for Knight. Elk here to save the day. Caps running. BLG blinking health bars.
A massive team fight win for BLG.
Knight.
Oh. He's going to deny the blast cone. There will be no steal. They're not going to wait for Bin to respawn, but that's a Baron for BLG. Why did G2 try to do that? 15.
I mean, look what he did with rank 2 equalizer, rank 3, even more damage. Realm Warp, G2 want to make the aggressive play. TP behind, but the perfect equalizer, slowing them down for now. Cosmic Radiance going in, Knight's in the midst of the entire team. He now goes golden, a perfect goal coming in from Sean. Elk untouched over the wall, they get the exhaust down at least, but G2 trying to fight back in the extended fight. Now in the midst of everything, it's Sean continuing to step up. Yike still standing, but he can't get in the mix. Broken Blade trying to hold on, but BLG are just better, just more powerful as they knock down the tier 2 as G2 are sent back to their base.
G2 is overforcing. They use the ultimate there to try and catch Bin off guard, but another fantastic Rumble ultimate means that BLG win out on the fight. The suppression against the Taric ultimate to buy time means that an inhibitor is going to fall. G2 is quickly losing control of this whole game.
And you can see BLG ready to weather the storm of the G2 engages, knowing that the way things are going when they have the Baron buff, it's G2 who have to try and make the play. He may step too far. As the Realm Warp if he does need to escape. Soul Point going to be secured by the side of BLG, 5 minutes. So they're able to force a fight, and right now they've set up to take better control of the map. Again, so hard to match this Ezreal in the mid lane, the pressure he provides. I think at this stage it's so hard for G2. BLG with control on the map. Again, if Taric goes in first, if the Taric team is going in first, they get to use Cosmic Radiance proactively. It feels so good. It's such a powerful ability. It's elimination or ascension. There's no in between. People will only remember the victor and the disappointment. Shun on the way in, good angle to start the fight. Caps locked up, Cosmic Radiance coming in a little bit sooner than expected from the side of BLG. Knight exhausted, but he has his Xin Zhao ult to get it back. G2 starting off pretty well in the fight, but Elk is untouched, starting to stack up the passive hitting. Hansama trying to find the stun angle, but they can't get it done. Knight in the midst of the entire team, falling up into Mickey X. Is it enough? Bin and Elk untouched, the 3 carries at the core of BLG. Can they find the angle? G2 blinking health bars, but they still stay strong. Elk on the chase. Caps trying to make the difference, the ulti. Hansama taken out, Elk versus the world. Elk continuing to find the angles, the slower's there, the double kill is there. Elk is a monster in that fight!
Elk is just too damn good! And we have a pause! 5 seconds off cooldown. If he had had it, he might have been able to kill Elk, but we're straight back into game and it's a Baron.
Baron angle. They know Yike is dead for 5 more seconds. BLG just want to rush this one down. 4K advantage already. They're just going to be able to grab it. G2 have no response built on the back of that last team fight. Elk popping off.
They're just conceding it. BLG pushing in.
Recall's now coming in.
It's
maybe a bit of a
inhibitors.
miscalculation here from the side of G2 as their side laners forced to return.
And they can go straight back and they can get the soul off the back of this too.
Inhibitor's gonna fall. TP behind though is going to be big. Will it be enough? Shun not quite timing it correctly. Broken Blade amidst the entire team, but he's just gonna get deleted. Trying to dash back to safety. Will be able to do it. But now BLG on the chase. Broken Blade gives his entire life. The equalizer, he's got nowhere to go. The Realm Warp isn't gonna be enough. Cosmic Radiance, can they buy enough space? The answer is no. Caps, Mickey running. 3 members left standing. BLG, one final push, looking to close it here, looking to go straight for the throat. They found the winning mid-team fight, and that might just decide it. Caps locked up, the flashback to safety. Caps taken down. Hansama about to fall. Mickey taken out as well. BLG knocking down the last of the LEC as they move on to the bracket stage.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup at the Swiss stage of Worlds 2024.
But even just the fact that MT got up there actually did dissuade them for looking for any sort of a dive. So this is very good. And Bwipo has no W.
Oh, Bwipo already flashed back underneath the turret there to make sure he gets to safety as Core and Yon are putting the pressure on the FlyQuest top laner. Had to use the flash there, traded for the Ignite of Core JJ. Bwipo down to 150 HP.
The poke continues, and Whippo's still sticking around down here, trying to charge up his Qs. He uses the charged one, though.
He's so low. Whippo below 100 HP. Yawn with a nice deadly flourish as Whippo tries to put some damage back into core JJ, but he takes a lick and he gets first blood.
Fade over. Looks like they also got the full reset here from Whippo, so Whippo level 6 Cassante is coming back full health. Meanwhile, Impact just recalling now is going to have to channel teleport.
APA already used his ulti there to chunk Quad down. Quad still has the shockwave, but all 3 grubs already secured by Umpty and Team Liquid.
And Busio just can't face check in there. You know, Umpty's Inspired's trying to lead the way there on the Skarner, but they cannot risk it.
Safe side right now, knows that's where the Skarner would be.
Okay, Quad doesn't get the ball far enough to try to go for a shockwave. Polymorph onto APA, who flashes over the wall to try to escape, but Quad with the flash into the shockwave. Easy pick up there for FlyQuest, but now Masu could be under some pressure in the bottom lane. Uses the barrier as the curtain call opens up. Yawn hits the first 2. Number 3 collides. Number 4, Masu has to flash out of the way to survive. Yawn is shooting straight.
Going to be the Dragon rotation immediately. Busio just left around now. He's the one going to get poked under tower.
Yeah, this combo of the Jhin and the Tahm Kench, another deadly flourish into Abyssal Dive. Core JJ, the thick skin is not thick enough, and Team Liquid overplays their hand. Yawn even having a flash away, they still don't kill Busio. He barely holds on, sidesteps the deadly flourish at the very end.
2v2 have been dominating, but they definitely went way too far on that one. At the very least, it's just a kill given over to the Lulu, so not the end of the world, but the loss of summoners, I think, is really what does hurt Yawn.
Like
Thank you.
But the 6 grubs might be more meaningful as APA under attack again.
Yeah, APA could be in some serious trouble here. Inspired flashes forward, but he misses the upheaval. APA is still going to drop as Quad can chase him down. 2-0 on the Orianna for the flag.
And I want to see what's going on bottom side too, because again, the relentless pressure here has almost resulted in a whole turret taken by the TL duo. They do get it here, only 12.5 minutes into the game. Quadrant of the jungle here leading up to it.
And I mean, while TL, I think, are in a very good spot, there's so much scaling over on the FlyQuest side. I do think Jhin is really going to struggle to actually punch through the front line. There's not a massive amount of tank killing pressure here on Team Liquid's comp. So as long as FlyQuest aren't just completely bleeding out, just keep focusing on their farm, getting their levels, this is the kind of style that they like to play. They like to play to scale.
Inspired actually gave a really interesting interview with Travis Gafford, I believe, where he talked about specifically playing team fights versus Team Liquid. And Inspired as always gives a lot of detail, and one of the main things that he said,
20 splinters that you're trying to get. Impact in this bot lane though is getting so much damage down to this tower. This might just be dead. I think he can kind of just kill him Whippo's face at this point.
Dude, Trinity Force Jax just demolishes structures. It's so easy for Impact to farm money off of that.
defensive hovering.
Also got chunked
For now.
there. APA on the center doing some good work. But meanwhile, bottom side, 2v2. Whippo starting it off with the all-out on Impact, taking him through the wall here in the alcove, but a TP ready to reinforce for FlyQuest. Impact on the retreat. Third and Tofo strike threatened the knockback, so Impact has to flash away, but now Umpty getting caught by the shockwave. Nicely done here from FlyQuest to catch the Team Liquid jungler. We'll see if they want to go any further forward. Doesn't look like it, but FlyQuest won nothing in that scrap. Well, FlyQuest is going to grab themselves some more objective money up here in the top lane. It'll be their first turret claimed this game. TL already with 3 in their position, but FlyQuest finally getting on the board in that regard. Meanwhile, Umpty will secure Soul Point here for the side of Team Liquid, so the clock is starting to approach midnight here for FlyQuest. They are going to have to answer these from now on or surrender that ever so important Infernal Soul. One thing that is going FlyQuest's way, 3 out of 4 of the kills, really all of the kills except for the one where Team Liquid overextended trying to dive Busio.
Space being created by a Cassante, by a Skarner, and this Lulu backing you up is going to be really threatening.
Inspired jumps in, going after Umpty, who immediately responds, jumping on Busio, who's down to half HP, but a redemption going to be summoned up by FlyQuest here as Impact tries to chase after him with a counter-strike, but he won't find the stun on anybody important. Impact is about to die first, but he gets away with a leap strike back to a teammate. APA killed first. FlyQuest with a 1-0 here so far in the fight, but Whippo's in the front line, but he's all alone. He knocks Umpty back. A little bit more damage. Might just kill the Team Liquid jungler.
To the Baron pit to try and get away from danger, but then section off from the rest of the team, so FlyQuest are able to collect that kill, and
We're not done yet. Nice knockback again from Whippo onto Core JJ. Wants to keep going forward, but he's got to be a little bit careful here. Impact with a counter-strike. Goes in and finds the kill on Busio. Escapes with his own flash back up into the brush, but a two-man shockwave coming out from Quad. Impact is popped before we can do anything else. Umpty's here on the front line, and surely he won't survive. The arrows just riddle him like a pincushion. Yon won't land the deadly flourish, and FlyQuest continues the chase. Quad goes on a rampage, and Core JJ goes down. In regards to something you said earlier, Isaac, talking about the scaling of FlyQuest, talking about how it'll be so hard for this Jhin to punch through that front line, it's exactly what we just saw. Now we got some more problems for TL. An arrow from downtown finds its way onto Impact. He'll try to fight his way out, but it ain't gonna happen. Top laner down. FlyQuest 9-4 and be able to join. He has respawn now. He'll make his way back out onto the map. FlyQuest still in control. Nice knockback coming out from Whippo when APA's in trouble. All out from Whippo to make sure that Core JJ's not able to save him. Now the Tahm Kench has to dive back to safety.
Baron threat here. They've got a Jhin for DPS, so all they can do is clear a ward.
And I love how Whippo just immediately decides all out into no terrain just to get that little extra buffer to guarantee that Core JJ cannot save his mid laner on this Tahm Kench as FlyQuest acquire the mid lane turret.
I feel like FlyQuest are fully in the driver's seat now. Soul point or not for Team Liquid, it doesn't matter if you can't win a fight. Looking to try to take over control of that area because that really is going to be what TL are looking for the whole time.
All right, the arrow, they went for the Tahm Kench, but it missed. Umpty and Core JJ still here on the front line for Team Liquid, knocking Inspired up into the air with a 3 Talon strike, but Inspired going for the pull only onto Core JJ. Umpty with a pressure onto Busio, has to try to flash away. Impact wanted to grab the counter strike, but it ain't gonna work. Umpty now the focus of FlyQuest damage. Impact in stasis, trying to hang on. Core JJ saving him there with the Devour. They try to get everybody away to safety, but Umpty is locked behind enemy lines, and Quad is dominating. FlyQuest kill the Team Liquid jungler. They're making their way over to the Baron pit. They gotta make sure that nobody gets sniped here by Yon's curtain call, and it's not that hard to do. FlyQuest now making Team Liquid be the ones to answer as they head into the Baron pit.
I mean, Impact got into the backline, forced out the summoners, but they had no answer for Masu, who gets buffed up by the Lulu, shreds the frontliners, and TL forced to retreat, lose the Baron here. FlyQuest now, will they have the health bars to get back to Dragon? That's the question.
Very easy. I think the timing for that fight was perfect for FlyQuest.
Who cannot be touched. The Orianna as well is free firing. TL just don't have the consistent damage to punch through the frontliners. If they don't win on that first punch at the start of the fight, they got nothing.
Yeah, Quad is just so fed, so rich here. The Orianna arrows and picking people off now because APA has no flash. For this next one. Umpty has no flash. Xin is notoriously vulnerable when you're trying to get vision as a jungler. You're trying to work with your support with Core JJ there.
Game, and FlyQuest has done a great job responding to it with mid-lane or mid-game outplays as Yon is again forced to flash now. The Jhin vulnerable, the Tahm Kench dead, the Orianna godlike, and FlyQuest just keep striking gold. Now that gold is about to flow straight into their pockets as the bottom lane tier 2 turret collapses, and again, it's Umpty under pressure as FlyQuest are not done yet. Quad does so much damage, and Umpty learned the hard way. You gotta respect it. FlyQuest gonna knock down another tier 2, this time over in the mid lane. Impact is trying to make a play here with a teleport, but the problem is there's no pincer attack to be found. You are a 3v5 for Team Liquid for the next 10 seconds, and even then, it's still down a man for him. Impact's gonna be interrupted as he tries to recall an award. FlyQuest have already taken the mid lane inhibitor, and now they're going to demolish the tier 3 turret in the bottom lane, making it a 2-inhib game.
I mean, you can try to threaten the flank, but it's not a rock in a hard place. It's a rock in a wet paper bag.
Through it, you know. Yeah, exactly. FlyQuest has done their training. They are ready to go. They know how to play these types of situations with an arrow coming in from the top side. Umpty gets hit from all the way away, and he has to try to flash to survive, but he's still almost dead. You got Whippo going in, all out. Umpty in some danger, still barely surviving as Yon's about to drop here next. As the Jhin dies, surely the fight is already over, and I think it won't even matter. Core JJ will drop second. They're about to make it even more. Impact's out of the picture. Quad's legendary. Yon, this fed Jhin from the early game, can't do anything. As Inspired comes around with the Ishtal Impact, the polymorph on APA, so we can't even get a trade back on the FlyQuest support. Quad 10-0, flooding into the base. Yon, the only one standing to try to stop it as FlyQuest go in for what should be the final kill of the game. They knock the Infernal Cinders out of them. They knock the Nexus turret down, and FlyQuest take game 1.
Again, it's going to be these double-ranged lanes here, so TL are really going to struggle in that 2v2 early, and they have Bwipo here that's going to be in one of these lanes, so they could even just swap again onto the Rumble and do what they did last time around.
A lot of the lead. When Team Liquid first hit the 2,000 gold lead mark, it was 1.7k on Yawn, but a flash as FlyQuest are getting engaged on down here in the bottom lane. Yawn and CoreJJ are lower, but Umpty is showing up first. Busio's going to die, and it's Team Liquid getting first blood yet again. And they can feel believable, you know?
Here's another little wrinkle in the script. 4 people top for TL, looking for the dive. Inspired's around.
All right, let's see what Bwipo can do. Needs to buy enough time for his jungler to arrive at least. Bwipo with the flash impact, going to take some damage from the turret, but not enough to kill him, and Inspired cannot get there in time. Nicely done, Team Liquid 2-0 until the first grub spawn.
One of the things I really like about this swap here from TL is that Rumble is 6 now and has Equalizer, so they can't actually pressure the tower where they can easily pressure Bwipo.
Yeah, Bwipo ignited, smited. He is down, so, you know, in the general sense of the word, not with the summoner spell. It's not like he's a jungle camp, but
and they push in bot side, so more minions going to be denied down on that bot side as well from Impact, who had the push. As FlyQuest are sending Bwipo down towards that bot wave, but unfortunately for him, it's just going to be him arriving to a wave that's pushing away from him. And again, we're going to have the TL bot lane going down there to arrive and just keep Bwipo down. They really are focusing on him this game. They're trying to put him in a deficit.
Behind is almost as important as the chunks that they got on enemy health bars. Still though, because Umpty invested ultimate and you don't have those resources there for TL, FlyQuest can move in and will claim their dragon. This is on top of the 3 grubs that they got.
Very, very good. Yawn and CoreJJ still here in this 2v2, almost level 6 for Core. Still needs about that last 1/3 of a level. Yawn taking some damage from Busio and Masu here with a double ranged threat. Yawn's got a lot of spears in him, down to 100 HP with a Dawning Shadow, forcing out the Feather Storm.
Quad as well has a roam timer. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch them, but he's even going towards tier 2.
Bwipo goes in for the third, and Tofo Strike goes all out on Impact, bringing Inspired in with him. Impact with a flash away, but immediately with the chase from Inspired, Equalizer drops down over the top. Impact staying alive for now. Bwipo might just be taken down by Umpty, who needs one more hit, and he takes him out of the picture. It's a 2v2 outplay for Team Liquid.
It's massive for TL, and they survive on the bot side as well.
Against Impact, who had that heated up Flame Spitter, just lasting on him for the entire duration. But it looks like Team Liquid's control over the top side river will earn them the second set of grubs. Neither team should be able to hit that 4 grub spot unless CoreJJ can randomly steal this with a Gleaming Quill, but there's almost no way. All right, Umpty's got the smite. 3-3 on grubs in this second game.
Yep, Inspired was stealing away the red. He did get it.
APA jumps in, looking for the engage here on FlyQuest in the top side. Umpty with a paranoia sets it up for APA to grab the kill on Masu, while in the bottom lane, Impact's now potentially in a 1v3 dive scenario. He's got a couple seconds left on the Equalizer, and FlyQuest wants to hit him before he can cast it. Impact drops in the bottom lane. Nobody's going to be traded back, but APA putting the DPS into the top lane tier 1 turret should be able to grab that first objective here.
Yep, the Demolitionist gonna do his job up there. Meanwhile, they also got the benefit of pushing mid. So kind of 2 lanes won there for Team Liquid. FlyQuest striking back a bit on the bottom side and getting some much needed money for themselves. Honestly, even just trying to handle the minion waves in the side lane because enemy team is running Nocturne.
Well, now hold on, Busio. Trying to disengage.
I think he beat the minions 1v1 still. We're not there.
Oh, come on.
All right.
It's going to be close. You're right, Kobe, but I think
Hold
he
on,
can do
down
it.
here in the bottom lane, we got an engage coming out from FlyQuest. Nice use of the combo there to get the pick on APA. The Vi and Ari coming to life.
This time, and they'll be rewarded with finally getting that outer tower for themselves. FlyQuest starting to get some money back, but again,
41, not a lot.
Okay, 41 souls, nothing to really write home about here just yet. MasterCard Lane Economy Snapshot shows
thank you,
that
MasterCard.
Yeah, thank you, MasterCard. We got Impact off to the greatest
Gonna
lead
have to swipe
of the
and buy
game
some more souls.
so far. And this Rift Herald is going to drop now as well. So TL going to pull ahead in that neutral objective game. We'll see how much value they can get out of this one.
They have both their teleports ready, so they should be able to make the rotation, but get caught.
Immediately, Team Liquid go for the engage, but they don't have enough damage to secure the kill. Now the Equalizer comes down over the top as FlyQuest guarantee their jungler's able to survive. Bwipo now in a bad spot, though, has to try to go all out to get himself away, but he can't do anything to escape the Flame Spitter. Now TL continuing their engage with a nice knock up on Amasu. That Kallista's going nowhere. Jan's going on a killing spree, and the Herald's going into the tier 2 turret. Nicely done from TL. Just absolutely swimming in money.
So fed at this point in the game. Even has another about 400 gold just from first strike on top of all the farm advantages that he has. APA doing what he does here in the side lane, getting richer and richer. Both the TL AD carries.
To choke FlyQuest out of the map. Now with the engage in the mid lane. Paranoia from Umpty diving after the AD carry of FlyQuest, but he's gone too deep. Busio with the kill on the Team Liquid jungler as Jan has to try to retreat now. Inspired with a Vault Breaker flash, but it ain't gonna find the target. He can follow it up with the ulti here as Quad shows up from the side and a nice shutdown. Back over to FlyQuest as Team Liquid continues trying to run. It's a 2-for-1 trade favoring Fly so far. Impact's got to try to get away. Quad running out of Spirit Rush charges now. The rest of the team needs to join up, and Busio's got the kill on Impact. Team Liquid got way too excited.
The Vi comes in from the side. Flash Q is going to be ulted by Jan, but look at this ulti buffer there from the Vi as the root is coming through, immunes it with his own ultimate.
If I was Spawn after this one, I think he's going to say, like, calm down and look at the risk versus reward of that play.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you saw the reaction there from Jan. They're going to look for a side lane.
Here we go again. Umpty with a Paranoia, this time after Bwipo. All out to try to get the Cassante away, but Bwipo's now in a 1v2. Impact providing the damage, donning Shadow for a shield, but Bwipo is taking so much damage over time for the Rumble. He'll try to continue escaping. Quad missed the charm. Impact will secure that kill, and now APA forces Quad back as well.
Get those resets and potentially run over the play, but they're looking for Jan.
They want it. Inspired tries to make the engage, but Jan doing a beautiful job here with a Feather Storm. Inspired taking a ton of damage now with a counter punch from TL, hitting hard. Masu and Quad in full retreat as Team Liquid teleport Impact in. The fight is already over, and TL's heading over to Baron.
What FlyQuest can do about it, they can't smite steal it, but they could try and poke around and fight.
Yeah, FlyQuest need to try to do something here. TL got the Baron down to about 2,000 HP. Baron not secured yet as Bwipo goes in, finds a nice Pathmaker onto 2. Umpty with the flash into the pit, but he's going to go right back in to secure it here with a smite. Team Liquid just cleaning up FlyQuest all over the top side river. The river runs red, baby. Team Liquid.
That man just lost 3 years off his life when Umpty flashed out of the pit.
I hope these players are paying for his blood pressure medication after some of these.
They're going to have to visit Grandpa Spawn in the old folks home in about 2 years.
Gold. They are on Soul Point. 4.5 minutes, though, until that next Drake spawns, and they have Baron for another 80 seconds. I know Team Liquid are wanting to just crack this base and end this one here.
And FlyQuest make the call. We're so far behind. Actually, they go for both plays.
They want to go in after Umpty, who turns around for the Paranoia counter engage as CoreJJ is ready to try to back up his jungler. Nice equalizer over the top of 3. Meanwhile, a problem off to the side. Jan nearly killed, trying to get away now as Quad needs one more attack, but he ain't going to find it. Quad into the stasis trying to survive, but Inspired is already dead. Whippos into the back line, but he can't find the kill on Jan. The AD carry is still fighting, still kiting. There is no way for FlyQuest to try to contest these guys. The Blade Caller finally finds him at the very end, and Jan will trade his own life. The base now as CoreJJ and APA will continue as your Team Liquid demolition crew here in the bottom lane. It's 10 seconds on Inspired, 25 on Masu and Bwipo. The game will not end here, but Team Liquid will successfully crack the base of FlyQuest before the Baron expires.
Too, because APA, the level 17 Tristana, very critical to keep up. And of course, he still doesn't have his flash quite yet.
Inspired with the engage. A lot of damage onto APA, but he rocket jumps back over the wall to stay alive. Plenty of damage, just burning Inspired away as Paranoia brings Umpty into the fight a little bit late. It's already won here for Team Liquid as Jan uses the Feather Storm and Barrier at the same time, thinking he was way too close to death. He and Core just barely hanging on, but there's plenty of HP on APA, Impact, and Umpty, and they're going to keep pushing the tier 2 while the super minions push the base of FlyQuest. The tier 2 turret still hasn't fallen yet. FlyQuest doing a good enough job hanging on for now, but back in the base, Quad's the one who has to save those Nexus turrets. Impact still trying to find some damage here with the Electro Harpoons, but APA is ready to follow it up. He tries to go forward after Masu. Masu using the Fate's Call, trying to bring him back. Fight back against APA, and the shutdown goes over to Busio.
Stop there pushing and not allowing TL to take an inch.
Well, Bwipo now finding himself in a 1 versus 3, and one of those 3 is an AD carry. Makes it very hard for the Cassante to try to get away. Jan eats 2/3 of his own health there.
Anything that FlyQuest can do about it, and since they are running so heavy investment into pick, into burst damage, with Vi Ahri here, is really unfortunate for them.
Even that, just pumping DPS into this Baron. No contest coming from FlyQuest. We should be looking at our final push coming up here soon, as TL have everything they need to lock this game away.
It's one of the best years he's had in the LCS, I think, in a long time. Has been really looking on top of his game here in TL, trying to force us to a game number 3. Does feel like when these teams play, it's always so competitive. The TP's coming in and TL looking to try to put the finishing touches on this one. We'll see if FlyQuest can pull off a miracle and make the game continue.
Not just a TP with an infinity edge for that level 18 Tristana. APA has massive damage. Engaged with a grand entrance from Core JJ, and APA's already killed Inspired before the Vi could do anything. 5v4 for TL as FlyQuest try to scramble and defend what's left of their base. Bwipo's nearly killed already as he tries to retreat now. Third and Topo strike with a knockback onto Umpty, but it ain't gonna matter. The Flame Spitter putting so much damage into Bwipo. He'll burn away before he can reach the safety of the fountain. The Nexus turrets will not stand long. It is going to be a 9-game day here on the final episode of Swiss 2024.
Kled is insane with Sejuani.
They were baiting the Yone. Whether or not it's the right decision, they were baiting the Yone.
All right, so we're talking about this Kled a lot. It's a huge pick, it's a big deal.
Umpty is behind him, we'll see what they can get.
All right, they want to try to get some power here with this Sejuani. The Soul Unbound has already been spent by Quad, but now he's trying to get away over to Inspired, who's coming in to back him up. Ishtal's impact slams APA into the wall, but Quad is already down to 250 HP. The Yone trying to get away, goes back in for the Q3, but he ain't gonna find enough here just yet. Nice heal there, as now the first blood for Inspired. He turns around to save his mid laner. Bwipo taking the worst end of a trade up here in the top lane, but now bottom side, it's Inspired on the Skarner yet again, this time looking for Core, and Yawn! Core JJ is turned to hamburger, and Masu's eating good.
The race car Skarner is unleashed after the mid lane victory.
Group up with Umpty, play for 2v2s, try to threaten dives. You got to make stuff happen on the map. You cannot sit back and farm.
Let's talk about some of the history of APA, and something that Spawn actually said very recently in an interview when he was talking about him. Well, we might have to talk about Inspired more, because he's actually ruling the game so far.
We might have to focus on the present instead of the past here, Kobe, as Impact just hits level 6 for the Equalizer to try to clear out the wave, but FlyQuest sent the whole party up here, man. Even the bottom lane's joining them. Inspired only dropping a half HP from the turret aggro.
I want to give a little spark of hope, though, to the TL fans that might be watching this kind of slip away from them. Another bit of action coming their way, though. Everybody's heading to the Void Grubs here. Galio is also level 6, so Bwipo could ult in.
We've also got APA ready with the charge. Team Liquid firing it off here as the Void Grubs are already secured by FlyQuest, but a massive fate sealed over the wall coming out from Quad. Bwipo makes his entrance. FlyQuest are slaughtering Liquid. A double kill, and APA with no flash. All that is left to determine is who's getting the money here for Fly. They'll get the taunt there from Bwipo. Masu's on a killing spree. 6-0, 7 minutes in.
They did back off. At this point for TL, all they can really do is try to overload one side, but they're already getting picked bot.
Yeah, Bwipo immediately with a Justice Punch into the taunt. Inspired can use the Impale to bring Impact so far away. There's no chance of escape for the Rumble. All he does is shoot the Equalizer to try to thin the wave. All right, Bwipo staring down the barrel of 4v1. Goes for the taunt, finds it onto APA, flashing back underneath the turret, goes for the Justice Punch again, trying to keep himself alive, but the lockup is too much. Team Liquid, 11 minutes into the game, find their first kill, but it's at great cost. The second set of grubs, along with the tier 1 turret, the first turret of the game in the top lane. Isa does have enough firepower to deal with this guy, but Inspired now ready to also join. Ishtal impact through the wall, and it's a TP coming in for FlyQuest, looking to make it an even 3v3. Bwipo disengages, and Inspired has the Impale onto Impact, who has to try to flash away, but the bait sealed from Quad hits the mark. FlyQuest 1-0 in the 3v3.
Oh, they didn't have a lot of vision on that bot side. They can just intuit where they are because they have all this vision on the top side to tell them, no one's up here farming the camps, no one's up here making a play. Well, guess where they could be? They're going to be looking for Bwipo, and that's why they're down there to support.
Quad now the target for Umpty and APA, who goes in with a teleport.
It has been an uphill trajectory for FlyQuest. They have truly improved day in and day out ever since then, taking over in the finals, Winions in the base, but here truly at Worlds, pushing Hanwha life. LCK #1 seed to the very brink definitely gives fans a lot of hope.
Weibo in some trouble, though, as the killer instinct from Yon joins APA, who uses the charge to continue the chase after the Galio. He's very tanky against magic damage.
Team, what they brought out against Hanwha, being able to bring out things like the Nunu to get a win with that was so exciting. And even, you have to take into consideration the fact that they beat PSG, who took them down. I don't think they're necessarily needing to actually start it up, because their comp scales incredibly well, but they want to put that pressure on. Uh-oh.
Oh man, Umpty caught in his own jungle as Busio and Inspired were ready and waiting, and Masu's got more than enough firepower to guarantee they get what they came for. Now with a man advantage for the next 25 seconds, FlyQuest will use that to knock down the tier 2 turret here in the mid lane. They were already gonna do it, but they might as well just use the Herald. They'll summon it up here, and this might be, hold on, can they do the secret? Okay, never mind.
But by the time Yon gets his Rage Blade, there's going to be already Infinity Edge, triple item spike for Masu on the Xayah, and so it just becomes so difficult. And
no, you got out.
plan right at the beginning of the game. They kind of did the combo breaker at the very beginning. But here, APA in the side lane trying to make something happen.
Yeah, he wants to go after Weibo. Weibo using the Justice Punch to trade back against him, and Weibo flashes out of the way of the charge so he doesn't get hit by that one. And now, a taunt coming in, trying to dismount APA. Teleports will arrive, but it's Quad getting himself into the fight first. Jumps in for the killing spree. APA is already dead, and now Impact has found himself in a spot where he's likely to follow. Core JJ grabbed by the Impale as Inspired brings him back further away from safety. That's 2 kills for FlyQuest.
Shot at even getting over there and contesting.
Yeah, and it doesn't need anything more than just Inspired and Masu for this. Masu with Infinity Edge, Essence Reaver, and Quick Blades will make short work of the Baron, even with just the duo taking care of it. Baron secured for FlyQuest 24 minutes into the game, 10,000 gold ahead.
Impact's in trouble.
Impact at the very tip of the fate sealed. Quad's probably just gonna kill him here, but they bring in Weibo to add insult to injury, and now they can deal with the remaining 2 guys as well. Fully baroned up, fully grouped up, fully ready to punch their tickets to Paris and the quarter-finals. They've got the minions, they've got the Void Grubbies. That mid lane tier 3 turret has already taken severe damage, and they're looking to put a similar amount here into the bot lane tier 3. It's already crushed. Weibo charging forward with the Justice Punch as Team Liquid can't do anything but look on as this first inhibitor will fall. Now FlyQuest with the wave marching up mid lane could try to go after that second tier 3, but instead gonna go ahead, recall, regroup.
Stack up these minions, sync them up, and see if they can't crash these waves and look for a potential end on the game. TL just getting pushed out.
Second tier turret in top is down. FlyQuest with a 13,000 gold lead, 26 minutes into the game. Team Liquid scrambling to try to defend. Tier 3 turret is almost killed already as Weibo uses the stasis to survive underneath the tier 3 turret right before it dies. Quad snapping back, FlyQuest pushing forward. Rings they can. The inhibitor dies in top lane.
FlyQuest, it's right in front of you. They are so close to moving on.
The Baron has expired. Only that mid lane still standing in terms of the inhibitors. Team Liquid have their work cut out for them, just dealing with the side lane pressure from the super minions. Could just walk right on top of that control ward though. As the turret falls in the mid lane, Core is still so far away from the rest of the team, and Weibo goes in for the engage. He finds the taunt onto 2. Team Liquid not in any danger here just yet, but their base is utterly destroyed. Umpty on the front line. Masu taking a lot of damage, but he ain't gonna be killed just yet. Goes up into the Featherstorm, staying alive for now. Team Liquid wants to jump in and kill him, and they finally got the kill they needed. Impact taking the credit, but FlyQuest is so far ahead. Quad jumps back in with the fate sealed. APA remounts, but it ain't gonna matter. Umpty drops to 0. A double kill for Quad. There's no way for Team Liquid to try to survive. Only Core JJ left standing. A triple kill for Quad and FlyQuest. They conquered their demons back in summer finals, and they banished them here today. They triumph over Team Liquid yet again, and they will earn their spot in the quarterfinals as the last hope for North America.
These were some of the best highlights from all the matches of the day at Worlds 2024. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.